How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Professor's Garage. We are in my living room again today. It's just been a lot easier to film in the house instead of the garage. Um, but today we are going to be turning my dog into yarn. It's going to be a couple days for me. Already has been. But hopefully this will be going up on Distaff Day. All right. So we're going to start off with, I have some of my dog's fluff from last spring. And it's January, so it'll be time again in a couple months. But this is like her undercoat. She's a husky. Here's a picture of her. She annoys me, but here's a bunch of her fluff, and we're going to start off by carding her winter coat. And so we have these brushes. These are called carders, and what they do is they take this chaos fluff and turn it into organized fluff. They're all going most of the same way. And I've got a bucket full here. So let's get going. What you do first is you grab some fluff. I'm going to get more than that later. And you put it onto your carder. These are hand carders. They also have drum carders. And I had this coffee can packed pretty well. It was full and packed pretty tightly. I'm going to weigh it once this is all done. And yeah. What you do is you put the fluff on one of your carders. You take your other carder, and I'm not good at this, even though I've spent like 4 hours on this yesterday and another hour already today. Okay, but you're going to start with the tips and then work it all from one way to the other. Because right now, these, and you're going to be, because they're curved hooks, and so you're going to be working them towards each other. So not like this or anything, but, and let's really get into it. But, and I have no idea if I'm doing this 100% properly or well or anything like that, but yeah, if you happen to see my video where I try using a drop spindle for the first time, link somewhere, definitely in the description or the comments below. I would card that fluff before using it. And there's that. And then you carefully take it off, and there's a way to do it by using the other carder as well. I just haven't been doing that, and I've just been doing it like this. A little bit of ASMR. There you go. And that goes in the bucket. And then you load your carder again, and it looks like I might have measured this out or timed it out perfectly. I wanted to get like 2 done on camera. So we'll get to the brief history of Distaff Day in a little bit. I'm going to weigh this real quickly. 65 grams. But yeah, the bucket doesn't feel very heavy at all. Okay. For anyone who's not watched my video on how on first time I was using my drop spindle, this is a drop spindle, basically a stick with a hook and a weight. Not all drop spindles have a hook, but mine does. Some of them have the weight at the bottom, mine's at the top. Cool. So what you do is you get your fluff and you hook some on it and you spin it, and then you start pulling it or drafting. And you pull your yarn out of the fluff, and where is it? So let's spin it some more. So the spin gives it the strength. Okay, there we go. Pull it some more. Spin it, draft a little bit, and let the spin come into your fluff. Oh, yeah. Almost lost it there. Created a big gap, but there was just enough spin and fluff, because the spin, when you let it from this end into the fluff, it brings it all together, and it's really cool. Okay, do a little bit more. Here, take it off the hook, and then there, got it. Now it's securing itself, and you hook it again, spin it. Woo. Oh, 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 I almost lost it again. Okay, but I'm a little bit out of the shot, but there's a lot of better videos on how to actually do this. This is mainly an experiment or a practice or a, I don't know, whatever on expanding one skill set. Okay, so Distaff day. Let's talk about that real quick. Oh yeah, and you don't want your spindle to spin the other way. I've been spinning it clockwise. And so I spin it clockwise and start pulling out, because if you let it spin completely, if you let all of the spin out of the spindle and let it start spinning the other way, your yarn or thread is going to unravel and your drop spindle will drop to the floor. and then you gotta fix it. And so, yeah, you don't want to do that. But yeah, what I'm doing is spinning it and then holding it between my legs so it doesn't unspin, and then drafting and pulling, or drafting and letting the spin come back up. Sorry, takes focus. Distaff day. I do not have a distaff, but a distaff is a spinner's tool that holds your fluff. Like right now, I'm just holding it in my hand. A distaff is a stick or other means of holding your fluff, or your fiber, as it's more called in the actual spinning community, your fiber. You can kind of see it at that distance, but yeah, it's crazy how airy and far apart you can get it, that the spin will just turn it into string for you. Um, so the distaff holds your fluff. Sorry, I'm fat. And after Christmas, or right starting at Christmas, I don't remember. I watched a video about this a year ago, over a year ago. And so sometime around Christmas, you're not allowed to spin yarn or thread or anything like that. Give a little spin here. Let's just draft it a little. Ooh, let's see. Okay, let's undo it a little bit. Layer it back. Let it spin together. A little bit more. Get past this. There we go. But so you weren't allowed to spin, and it was like 12 for the 12 days of Christmas. So it's like from Christmas Day until 12 days after Christmas, which is January 7th. And that is Distaff Day, when you pick up your distaff and your spindle and you start spinning again. And so that's what we're doing. Is it's not yet Distaff Day for me, so if it was back in the day in the wrong place or in the right place, I could probably get arrested or fined, or who knows, flogged and tartar feathered for doing this, because it's only the 4th. But this video should be going up on the 7th. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and sit and spin for a while. Maybe I'll go to bed. But I'm going to try and get this bucket done by in time to get this video edited and posted on Distaff Day. So, I'll see you in the next bit. All right, we're back. I spent hours doing this. It was like 8 hours at least. But we're done. And it is not consistent, and I'm okay with that. This was mainly just an experiment. So, if you leave it as is, it will untwist itself and fall apart. And so, what you do to keep the twist is you set the twist with a niddy noddy. It's a silly word, and this is a very big, very crude niddy noddy, but it's just basically a rack for you to wrap it on, and then you soak it. This is what I used before, and I realized that this was not going to be enough. So we're going to put it on here. And people who do this all the time, they usually tie it on, but I don't feel like doing that, so I'm going to use a couple push pins. And I did tie it the first time I set the twist, and hopefully this will work. Wrap it around there, and we'll stick it in. Ugh. Cool. That's good enough. And yeah, some fell off, so I'm going to show you that, because this is what happens if you don't set the twist, is it falls apart. So don't worry, I'm not going to show all of this on here because it's going to take a while. But you just wrap it around and you get it all wrapped all nice and close. Yeah, it's going to be as good as you get for this. But yeah, I didn't use all of the fluff that I had prepared. There's a little bit left. And as I showed up on screen, when I weighed it, I didn't use ounces. I just looked at the grams, and then later, after the recording it, I converted it to ounces. So probably put the ounce on earlier, but I was surprised that 65 grams was only 2 ounces, and that was a lot of fluff, and so I was surprised about that. Okay. Oh, I'm sore. Oh, my shoulder is killing me, and my fingers are sore from holding the dowel on the spindle, and uh, okay, let's kind of get this in the shot. Let's wrap this around and stab it in. Let's put it on the other side. Okay, right there. So, again, real quick, to set the twist, you soak it in water, and then you let it dry. And this is how you make sure it, like, this is just how you do it. I mean, you probably could do it on the spindle too, but last time I did it, I used a 5-gallon bucket. This time I'm going to use my bathtub. So I'm going to get that set up and figure out a weight to hold this down in the water. And I'm probably not going to do a video with that. I'm just going to probably show a picture, but we will see. We're almost done. There's some dogs barking outside, so yeah. But it has been soaked. It didn't soak as long as I was planning to, because when it got down in the morning, uh, all the water had drained out. Like there's too much twist in this area. Right there's best to see it. Got a couple extra loopy loops, but the twist should be set. And I just measured it with a yardstick. Can't see it at the moment. But it's 33 inches for one length, and there's, I think it's 18. I'll count again and put it on screen. Okay, so I miscounted. This time when I counted 21 in each thing. Well, I counted 1 times 4. So it's going to be off by a little bit, but with 20 in each, it came out to about 220 feet roughly. And I'll do a new calculation for 21 strands. And but this is, like I said, it's not consistent. We have sections that are very junky like this and thickness of yarn, and then we have sections that are much thinner, and even almost down to like thread thin in certain sections. I started a new one just to show my son, because I have some fluff left over, some fiber, and I was doing it really consistent at really thin, so I might continue that for what I have left. I forgot to turn my sound off. I'm such a professional. But I'm not going to be getting any phone calls because my wife is home. But I'm going to go ahead and get this off of here, and I'm just going to go ahead and put it on this. And I'm probably just going to give this to my niece, because I taught her how to spin, and I showed her this, and she thought it was really fluffy and wanted it. So yeah, probably just going to go ahead and give it to her. Which one will do? Yeah, this one. So I'm going to go ahead and unpin this, and we will check to see if it has truly set the twist. Put this in my pocket. That's a good place for it. Better than jabbing it in the wall or dropping it on the ground. All right, and as you can see, letting it fall loose did not unwind, and if you untwist it, it twists right back. So the twist has been set. All right. I'm going to go ahead and wind it onto here, like I said. Usually people just pull it off of these, like pull the sticks out and wrap it into nice pretty little hanks or braids or whatever. I don't feel like doing that right now. It would be a lot faster and easier, but I don't know how it's done. And so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm not going to look up a video right now to see it. So I'm just going to put it on here. Quick comment. I mentioned a couple times that this was an experiment, and that's what the plan was. And then I found out that there's this guy who has a bunch of huskies, and he actually does this as a job and turns his huskies fluff into yarn and hats and stuff. So there will be a link in the description for his content or his site. It's official. It's all done. My hair's got some hat hair going on or something. But there we go. I am all done. It is off the nitty naughty, and I officially turned my dog into yarn. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and check out my other videos. But most importantly, have a great day.